I think in no industry is the phrase "third time's a charm" more evident than in mobile technology. We even recommend that you avoid the curse of the early adopter, which was pretty much the case with Samsung's first Galaxy Fold. Yes, we know, the first units we got brought design issues that were fixed later, and yes, we also know that left some of you skeptical of paying so much to be part of an experiment. But then, the thing is, we then reviewed the first Z Flip, and that was a completely different phone. I mean, mine is a year and a half old, and it still looks and folds like new, and you know, it's the same story with the Galaxy Z Fold 2 that I've been using since January. I almost wish the first Fold didn't get so much bad publicity because Generation 2 has been great. It's been the breath of fresh innovation smartphone makers have spent 5 years arguing about. It's brought the cool factor that most of us in the tech space have expected, and yet I know certain skepticism still exists in a lot of people. I think the only way to erase that first impression was actually to address some of the compromise that even reached the second generation. We live in a time when our phone is our tool. We don't want to worry about getting it wet, and most important, we don't want our expensive piece of hardware to be fragile for the money. And this is why I feel that the solution is Generation 3. Guys, we just had an opportunity to spend about an hour with Samsung's new foldable flagships at a private venue before today's Unpacked event, and let me just say that if I ever debated the need for my phone to fold in the past, I think my personal argument against it is pretty much over. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and let's dive into our hands-on. So, quick disclaimer, keep in mind that these are all just first impressions. Each of us was given a private session to adhere to safety protocols, but then there's only so much we can experience of 4 products in an hour. So yes, we got to see the new Z Flip3, the Z Fold3, the Galaxy Watch 4, and the Buds 2, but for this video, I'm actually going to focus mostly on the first 3, as my Buds 2 review is already in progress on a separate video. So let me start with the Z Flip3. I'm going to just call this the new flagship killer, because for $999, it's going directly after any expensive Pro phone out there. Think of it, I mean, it kind of makes you debate why you would want to pay more money for a phone that doesn't fold or do any other cooler trick. It comes in 4 colors, and that actually defines the finish, and then Samsung.com has got some exclusives. But for example, if you pick the black model, the entire body is matte, but then the cream will blend shiny elements with a matte chassis. And then other combos bring their own unique elements if you look really closely. But then there's the fact that Samsung pretty much fixed absolutely everything we wanted with the first and the second generation as well. Somehow, they fixed the spring action on the hinge, for example, so feel free to treat this like your old flip phone and just flip it open with one hand and closed. Somehow, they've also modified the mechanism to allow this without affecting its ability to work in flex mode and be propped up on a table. And then they also address durability concerns, by the way. I mean, it might look like jewelry, but we're talking about Gorilla Glass Victus on the outside, a new armor aluminum finish Samsung claims to be stronger, and a new protective film that Samsung claims to be 80% stronger on the inside. Now, what's most important is that yes, this phone is IPX8 freshwater resistant, solving the biggest pain point at this price range. And then the thumb outer display is also gone for a more logical 1.9-inch Super AMOLED that provides notifications that you can actually read this time, along with its own set of widgets for you to call on without the need to open the phone. Now, when you do, you can expect the same tall 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED panel at Full HD Plus resolution that we had before, but but now it's 120Hz refresh rate capable for a more fluid experience. And then we actually now have stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos, which we wish we had on the two previous models. Now sadly, the rumors of no crease didn't really happen, but then after 2 years of using foldables, trust me, it just really doesn't matter after some time. Internals include Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, 8 gigs of RAM, non-expandable storage that starts at 128 gigs, a 3300 mAh battery, a side fingerprint scanner, face recognition on the inner 10 megapixel punch hole camera, and then the two primary cameras on the cover are of 12 megapixels with ultra-wide and standard functionality. Now, judging by the cases and the optional accessories, I'd say the Z Flip3 is marketed more at a younger audience, or even a lifestyle consumer. You be the judge in the comments. By contrast, I think the Z Fold3 is a completely different product that's more focused on the professional. I mean, judging by the props, the accessories, and the cases, it's as if Samsung is silently replacing the Galaxy Note with this phone. I even think that the Galaxy Note name is far more appropriate for this product now that it folds than the Z Fold3 naming scheme, which I actually still debate. Thing is, at $17.99, it still is a pretty penny, but in Samsung's defense, it's now less expensive than it's ever been. It finally solves the caveats that made you debate the premium, and add extra fan favorites that make it kind of irresistible. It comes in 3 colors in a more elegant matte finish, with this matte black one being my favorite so far. It addresses the same durability concerns with a combo of Gorilla Glass Victus and the armored aluminum on the outside, plus a stronger protective film on the folding glass inside. Best of all, same IPX8 fresh water rating for added peace of mind. Now, what's interesting is that even if it's slightly more substantial than before, Samsung managed to make it lighter and more ergonomic, doing away with the sharper spots that we had on Gen 2 at the top and the bottom. Now, new tricks include 120Hz refresh rate regardless if you're on the outer 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED or on the inner 7.6-inch panel. Yes, there is S Pen support now, and you actually have 2 different models being supported, a Fold variant and a Pro version. And really, what makes these different is that the tip now sinks whenever you apply too much pressure, as a measure to protect the thin glass from being scratched. An irony is that you can't really use the S Pen on the outside, which would have been a good way to even preserve the longevity of the inner panel. But that being said, I mean, in Samsung's defense, the idea of having my phone be a phone and then turn into this tablet that I can write on is pretty much perfect for my needs, and the feel of the pen on this inner panel is no different than what I've experienced on the Galaxy Note before. Yes, remind me of the crease all you want, but I see none of you like writing in the middle of an open book either, so we'll see just how much it affects me while using it in my full review. Now, another interesting trick is that under display 4 megapixel camera included, which, well, let's just say it doesn't look that much better than having a punch hole when covered by these larger pixels. We'll see how it performs on the final units, because these pixelation elements just do not look good. Other specifications include the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, 12 gigs of RAM, non-expandable storage that starts at 256 gigs, a 4400 mAh battery, a fingerprint sensor on the side, and stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. As for the rest of the cameras, 10 megapixel on the cover display, and then a combo of 3 primary cameras at the back that are all 12 megapixels and serve for ultra-wide, regular, and telephoto. No ultra chops to be seen, as some rumors predicted. Now, since this is a sort of a Galaxy Note, there is a ton of software tricks baked in that I'll cover more extensively when the final units arrive, as Samsung really wants this to even feel like a Windows computer in day-to-day productivity to a certain degree. Now, as for the Galaxy Watch 4, well, we got to see both models in all of their color variants. Not sure if I find it any more or less elegant than it was before in the short time that we were given, but I will tell you one thing, that One UI watch feels more like the old user interface we knew, that pretty much just simply runs Wear OS applications. It's the same rotating bezel functionality and the placement of everything we knew in previous Galaxy watches. It even makes no logical sense for old watches not to get this update, but we'll see once we fully test what's different. That being said, given how Samsung has dropped the price to start at $249 and $349 respectively, I can see the company trying to make a statement. But anyways, that's it for what we saw at today's Galaxy Unpacked briefing. So far, my experience with the Buds 2 has been pretty positive, but again, more on that on a separate video. The Galaxy Watch 4 looks pretty promising, but let's be real. What really stole the show are the foldables. I can't even tell you I really want that Z Flip3 in cream color, mainly because it's finally the Flip flagship without compromise that we've always wanted. That said, I wish I didn't have to pick because its lack of S Pen functionality makes me steer to the Z Fold3. To have stylus support plus water resistance pretty much addresses my desire to have a phone that's also a productivity tablet, all in just one product, just one investment. I seriously think that this is proof that third time's a charm. Caveats addressed, more durability, added features, and less expensive prices. Plus, as you know from Samsung, a ton of bundles that can even include Samsung Care Plus, and I think that these might just be the best phones of the year so far. That being said, there's really only one way to find out, and that's in our full review that's coming very soon. Let us know what you would like to learn about them in the comments below, and while you're at it, follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on our personal handles and follow me to see me, I don't know, test these phones pretty early. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.